The sun sat low over a dusty highway, its heat rippling through the air like fire. The old gas station at the edge of town buzzed faintly with the hum of cars, the hiss of fuel pumps, and the smell of gasoline that mixed with fried chicken from a diner nearby. It was the kind of place people passed without a second thought. Ordinary, forgettable. But on this day, something unforgettable happened. Something that would make everyone who saw it believe again in the power of kindness. A worn-out minivan rolled up to pump number 5, coughing and rattling like it was on its last breath. Behind the wheel was Lena Harper, a single mother trying to hold life together with nothing but grit and prayer. Her hair stuck to her forehead. Her face showed lines far too deep for her age, and yet her eyes, tired as they were, still held that flicker of fight every mother keeps for her child. She wasn't here to fill her tank. She was here to survive another day. Her shift at the diner had ended late. Her manager had shorted her pay again. Her rent was due in 2 days, and the list of things her little boy needed for school was longer than her grocery receipt. She had counted and recounted the coins in her purse before pulling in, praying it would be enough for a few liters to get her to the next paycheck. As she stepped out, the late afternoon heat slapped her skin. The minivan coughed again before going quiet. "Please don't die now," she whispered, patting the steering wheel as if it could hear her. She tried to steady her hands as she searched her wallet for coins. That's when laughter sliced through the quiet. 3 men walked out from the convenience store, loud, restless, and dripping with the kind of arrogance that made decent people uneasy. Their tattoos glinted in the sunlight, their voices carried over the parking lot, and their grins were the kind that promised trouble. One of them tossed his drink can onto the ground and pointed toward Lena. "Hey, look at that van. I didn't know they still made those." The others laughed. Lena kept her eyes down, hoping they'd lose interest. But they didn't. They circled closer, throwing jokes about her clothes, her car, her being there alone. One even reached for her bag, tugging it playfully from her shoulder as his friends snickered. Her stomach twisted in fear. "Come on, sweetheart," one said, stepping closer. "We're just having fun." But Lena's trembling hands told a different story. She wasn't some game for them to play. She was a mother trying to make it home. She looked around. Empty lot. No one nearby. No help in sight. Her heart pounded. The memory of her little boy, waiting for dinner at home, flashed through her mind. She swallowed her fear and stood taller than she felt, clutching the gas pump like a weapon she'd never use. Then, it happened. A low rumble echoed from the road, deep and steady like thunder crawling across the sky. The men turned their heads, confused. The sound grew louder, closer, until it filled the air with the roar of engines. Motorcycles, dozens of them. The sunlight bounced off chrome, black leather, and steel as a group of riders rolled in like a wave of power. Their engines growled as they slowed, one by one, filling the gas station with a storm of noise and presence. They weren't ordinary bikers, you could tell from the way everyone went still. These were men people didn't mess with. The leader stopped first. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with silver threading through his beard and eyes that looked like they'd seen too many roads. His leather vest bore a patch that made the 3 troublemakers freeze in place. He swung his leg off the bike, boots landing on the pavement with a heavy thud. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. One glance from him and the air shifted. His brothers followed, stepping off their bikes, forming a silent line between Lena and the men who had been laughing seconds earlier. It wasn't loud or violent, just powerful. Their presence said everything that needed to be said. Not today. Not her. The biggest of the 3 men tried to talk his way out. "Hey man, it's not what it looks like." But his voice cracked under the weight of the silence pressing down from the bikers. The leader's eyes met his, cold and calm. "Leave," he said quietly. That one word carried more strength than any shout. The men backed away, tripping over their own feet as they rushed toward their car. Tires screeched, dust rose, and just like that, they were gone. Lena stood frozen, her hands still gripping the gas nozzle. The adrenaline that had kept her upright began to fade, replaced by a trembling she couldn't stop. She didn't realize she was crying until a tear rolled down her cheek. One of the bikers, young, with kind eyes beneath his rough exterior, walked up slowly. He didn't invade her space. He just said softly, "You're okay now, ma'am." She nodded, trying to breathe. "Thank you," she whispered. The leader gave her a small nod of his own, then motioned to one of his men, who checked under her hood. Another quietly filled her tank and slipped a few folded bills into her hand. "For your boy," he said simply. She tried to refuse, shaking her head, but he smiled. "We've all been there. Let us do this." And they did. No fanfare, no speeches, just quiet acts of goodness that spoke louder than any words ever could. Lena's tears came freely now, not from fear but from the shock of being seen, of being helped without having to ask, of realizing that kindness could still exist in a world that too often looked away. When they were done, the leader stepped closer. His shadow stretched long across the ground as the sun dipped lower. He studied her for a moment, then said softly, "Keep your chin up. You've got more strength than you think." It wasn't just encouragement, it was a promise. Then he turned, swung his leg back over his bike, and gave a signal. One by one, the engines came alive again, roaring to life with a sound that shook the air. The ground vibrated beneath her feet as they pulled away, disappearing down the open highway, leaving behind the smell of gasoline and the echo of thunder. For a long moment, Lena just stood there. The coins she'd held onto so tightly now felt light in her palm. The fear that had gripped her heart was gone, replaced by something new, something she hadn't felt in years: hope. When she finally climbed into her van, she looked at the folded money resting on the dashboard and smiled through her tears. She wasn't alone after all. As she drove away, the last rays of the sun broke through the clouds, lighting the cracked pavement in gold. And in that glow, the world didn't seem so cruel anymore. Because sometimes, help doesn't come with a halo or wings. Sometimes it comes on two wheels, wearing leather and steel. If this story touched your heart, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Tales Binanya. Your small click keeps these stories alive. Stories that remind the world that kindness still exists, that compassion still matters, and that strangers can become angels when it counts most. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Do you believe moments like this still happen today, when people stand up for someone who can't fight back? Drop your answer in the comments, because your voice might be the light someone else needs to see.